5 tasks in counseling, and I had mentioned them. They also happen in children counseling and even in adult counseling. There's what you call teaching, there's what you call consulting, those are tasks in counseling. There's what you call monitoring and evaluation, and there's what you call counseling on itself. Those are some of the tasks in counseling. So counseling that encourages progression. One, educate about trauma, teach self-help skills, address thoughts and feelings which affect our behaviors, then focuses on one's behavior, on trauma, then encourage sharing one's story, and that's why we could be having a short class, a 10 class, then we could have discussed about our long trauma, our long time in trauma. In fact, I've seen it and I think it will be one of our morning session tomorrow, where we need to draw what we call the rip of your life, so that we can be able to share. We can sample at least 2 to 3 people who would be very comfortable sharing with us about their childhood trauma. It's very much important. Because again, when you share about your story, it's like kind of you have now gone against, beyond it. Unaonanga mtu kama ameshakuwa traumatized. Most of I work with clients who have been raped, either adults or even sometimes even children. And you find if somebody has never gotten enough counseling, when he hears about somebody who has been raped, anaanza kulia. Kwanza akisikia mtu amerepiwa mahali anaanza kulia. Kwa sababu hajadili na ile ya? Yeah. That's why you people are doing what? Are doing personal therapy. So that you can be able to deal with your own garbages before you start dealing with other people's garbages. Yes. That's the word you use in counseling. You need to deal with yourself before you go dealing with somebody else. Because kada nitakuja aanze kuambia unajua mimi nyumbani napigwanga na bwanangu kwanza sengine anasemaga nataka nyuma na nakula nyuma kisa mimi niko helpless. Na wewe pia unakulanga nyuma. Na wewe ni kansela wa kike. Utamsaidia client? Hello. Haya, wewe ni mwanamume, uko na mama anasemanga utapata na hata ukafanya nini? Leo upa? Na bado uko na ile kati ya mwenye factor, si ndivyo? So hizi vitu zote constant, and that's why in counseling you don't put your values to your client. So you need to do personal therapy sessions so that when you go to your clients, you are like a blank slate. You are there not to put your values to the client, but just to help the client the way the client is. Yes. All factors constant, the cultural factors, the spiritual factors, the emotional factors, the psychological factors constant. Shida ni nani? Ni ya client, si ya? Na wewe utatii matatizo ya client. Client anatatua matatizo yake mwenyewe. So evaluate and healthy perspectives in the client, then involves caregivers in the healing process when possible. Sasa, those are some of the important words community behavior therapy is that helps children, youth, and their families. So this CBT, it's done in different ages, depending on what you have picked. If you have picked anger, you do the TFCBT using the anger, and you do use skills in doing them. Like when I was telling you to crush the paper. If I was having a very good session, I'll ask you to crush a paper, and when you crush a paper, you will find. I'll give a story. Last time when we went to our recess, there's a school in Ridley. Who come from Ridley? There's a school from Ridley, which is I think Ridley girls. They went for cheering. Walimu wakaambiwa kama walikuwa wameshatengenezwa na wakala. Walikuwa wamekuwa na wakala, unakuja hapo usiku na kuja na wanafunzi na mambo na kesi. Lakini that's what happened because waliambiwa walikuja sema kwamba kuna shule kadhaa five ukiproceed to Eldoret. Anapata ndio walimu wa kiume wakaambiwa dalili huku na wakiwa wakaangalia hivi walimu kusema tukae. Ndio walimu wanataka kuangalia pesa wamepewa hata kama kwa nasema na hata hapo kwa sababu ni maisha sivyo. And you know what happened that night? So the students suffered trauma. They were secondary trauma because the primary trauma was the teacher. So I'm giving a nutshell of what session that I did. So I had a round group of around 30 students. You can have a clip. I had a round of 30 students. So we did a session, but at some point, I knew that the students had a lot of anger in them. And I could see it in them. The only thing that I didn't do everything, but I did so well. Back I said, wow, thank you for God exposing me in psychology. I told these students just to cut the paper the way you have cut it. I told them to write words that depict the person who attacked their teachers. So watoto wanaandika barbaric, idiots, sijui what. Wakaandika majina mabaya ya yule mtu ambaye alikuwa ameattack nini. So when they were writing that, they were letting their anger to that paper and writing, and they were seeing that person. So when you fill in the paper, nikamwambia kila mtu aangalie karatasi na waone ndio. Kwanza walipatia jina. Kwa nilipatia jina. And everybody gave the name of the person. Jina ambalo alikuwa anataka. So they looked at the paper and the students started crying. And they cried and cried. They cried for almost 10 minutes. Then I told them it's well, it's normal, it's okay to feel the way you feel. You're not made out of stone, but you're made out of flesh, and you're made out of. It's okay to feel the way you feel. So then, you've written that. So now, we are saying that's not a devil, but that's a person who did that to your teachers. So what do you want to do with this person? Do you want to get the student? And he has just done it. Watoto wazaliwe karatasi. Wazaliwe karatasi. And I told them, wakati mnazalisha karatasi, just say the words that you want to say about that person. Ile kelele ilikuwa kubwa, kubwa sana. So they made with them. Then from there I told them, what next? You know, that's why I love Catholic children. I told them, what next? We want to buy him. You know, I saw one student running like that. Job. You know that those papers were put there. And then those papers these students were picking every little paper. Kuhakikisha wanafanya nini? They buy all single paper. All of them. Then after that, you will see their faces are black. So I asked him, now where are we? And how are you feeling? You know, the students woke up and everybody wanted to hug me. All of them. I saw the students had surrounded me. Nilikuwa niko na kansela mmoja kwa sababu ya kuja naye akachelewa. Sio kwa sababu mwalimu sio bwana baba. Ndio kansela hapo. All students came up surrounding me and they were crying the cries of joy. How they were feeling like the burden they had. And because I was following all the steps, because as we are doing that, I was doing this teaching. When you are doing such session, you teach them about the trauma, you tell them this is how trauma, this is how manifest, this is how you are feeling, blah blah. The teaching part. That's how. You also do everything, each and every step. As you ask them to do one-on-one, as you tell them, say one word, what you feel. Say 2 words. Share with us, because sometimes when you're having a very big group, you sometimes limit them, you condition them not to share so much, because if you share so much, everybody has all to share. So there's a way that you normally do it to be so squeezed. So tell us what you are feeling one. I'm feeling angered. Huyu mwingine kila mtu. So how about if we go pole. So when we did this, at the end of the day, the teacher called me sometimes. She's called Madam Eunice. Can you remember her name? The principal called Eunice. And she was told by her principal to contact me. Her principal is a psychologist. She's doing her PhD, isn't it? In counseling. And she's sometimes featured in Mrs. Bomba. Mrs. Bomba, what Bomba? Madam Bomba. She sings and she does a lot. She's a blessed lady. Madam Feli, she's a blessed lady. And she's doing fun. So she contacted me and she told her, Madam, you must call this counselor, come on. And Madam